let's now talk about things that are relevant to just the virtual world, now that most of our presentations will be done virtually. The role name really is the big clue here. Now we have the attendees. We're called participants in Zoom. And then we have panelists and we have hosts. And that's the key. If you are hosting a virtual meeting, then you are literally like hosting something like a meal. You're hosting a gathering of people. Now, if I'm running a lunch or a dinner, I don't have my door locked and my lights turned off. If the lunch is at midday, I don't have the lights turned off until midday. Obviously, at 11:45, I'm ready. You should be the same. Every meeting you run as a virtual presentation, realistically, start at 10 minutes early. There's nothing more rude than when you join a Zoom call and you get that little white box saying, please wait for host to start meeting. Yeah, this is one of the things I do, and you can probably hear the music maybe in the background. I literally have a slide looking like this. It's got some music going on. It's got you're starting soon. There's some audio going so they can make sure they'll be able to hear. And I can have my promotional stuff, my agenda, stuff like that, all before my session starts. Let's get rid of that. I do this kind of stuff so I can get all that junk out of the way that might lose their attention during my talk. This is all pre-talk. I've got audio, they can test their audio. They can see the slides, I've tested that. I've got my Twitter, my bio, maybe the title, maybe the agenda. I can have what's coming up, when's my next talk, where are we doing our next presentations, etc. Having that starting 10 minutes early is actually a benefit for you for your actual talk. Let's talk about some tips for video. The reality is your laptop probably sucks for video. It's as simple as that. And that's a bummer now because people are demanding better quality content virtually. Probably the best investment you can make, because it's not expensive, is having a dedicated webcam. We are looking at one right now. Have a dedicated webcam that you can use for your presenting. It's laptops, sadly enough, I'm not sure why, have just never really, back the microphone, have never really evolved to have decent webcams. And it's not like the technology doesn't exist. I mean, your phone has a camera just as small in terms of size, and yet it's good quality. So look at using a webcam, just gonna be that much better. The minimum nowadays people will accept on YouTube, for example, is full HD, 1080p. So your webcam should be able to do that. Most laptop webcams don't. If you haven't got a webcam, your phone can do a fantastic job. Your phone doubles, as we all know, as a camera. You can, if you're recording, for example, sessions, you can use your phone to capture the video. It's very, very useful and will be better than a laptop to record sessions. So if you're doing a recording as opposed to a live event, phone's perfect for that. If you have an Android phone, there are plugins you can get which will let you use your phone as a webcam. The risk with that is most of the plugins for things like that are limited to say 15 or 30 minutes. If you're doing a recording and you want to simulate a webcam, then fine. If you're doing a 1 hour session, most of the plugins for iPhones and Android phones generally won't allow the camera to run for an hour. So be aware of that. Or just use your camera. Similarly, I'm a Canon person, but whatever your personal brand is, point and shoot camera is very, very useful for recording video if you're recording sessions. Some more recent cameras, even pop-up and shoots like that, have software which lets you USB hook them into the computer and use them as a webcam. Or you can, if you're an avid camera person, you can actually get a DSLR and get the best quality experience, especially for recording videos. Once again, most DSLRs have limits on how long they'll do video for if you're going to use them as a webcam. Anything which is not your laptop webcam is generally going to be a better option if you're recording video. If you are recording video, lighting is critical. Now, the best lighting you can ever get is daylight. The sun will do it so much better than anything else you can have. So recording your sessions during the day is ideal. Here's a screenshot of an older webcam I have, and a webcam will give the impression that you are actually well lit. So that looks like I'm in a fairly bright room. It's a little bit hued, but the reality is that's the picture with all the auto exposure turned off. So I was in a room that actually has a standard light above it, just normal fluorescent light. That's what a webcam picks up. Cameras need a lot of light to actually get a decent picture. This is the same without the lights turned on. All I've done is sit next to a window. So if you can sit next to a window from the side, you'll get much better lighting, and your webcam doesn't have to compensate as much, and so it doesn't look as grainy and sort of hideous. Natural lighting is generally going to be the best lighting you can get. When I say natural lighting, as I said, have it from the side. Side lighting is great because it creates one side of your face is more lit than the other, which creates a bit more of a three-dimensional effect. It's really easy to sit in a backlight situation, which generally is the worst you can do for cameras, because cheap cameras like webcams are very bad at dynamic range, which is differentiating between dark and light. And so you get this kind of effect. I've lost track of the number of online Zoom sessions I've sat on recently where people are giving talks, and I disconnect with the speaker because I really can't see their mouth moving because they're backlit. And unfortunately, we often like working in well-lit spaces. And often this is a thing of we just sit in a well-lit space. If you're unfortunate and you live on the wrong side of the world, or your audience lives on the wrong side of the world and you have to give your talks at night, there is no such thing as too many lights. Get every single light you can and wind them up, because that's how you're going to do it. Like, it's pitch black at the moment here in Perth. This is a picture I took with my phone before we started. You can see I've got a big light up here. There's one at the other side. I've got my normal lights on. There's a couple of reading lights on. You need a lot of light to create a natural look. When you are doing video, try to make it conversational. And the way I have conversational video is if I was talking to you face to face. So the first thing you need to do is what I call portraiture. If you've ever seen a wedding photographer take portraits, they generally have a little step ladder with them, and they'll stand up on it and they'll take pictures slightly downwards at the person being painted a picture of. It's the most flattering thing of view you can have of someone. Another disadvantage of having a laptop webcam is that's the view you get. The laptop is generally lower than them because you need to type on it. So if you only have a laptop webcam, this is what you'll be presenting to the audience. And when you got a nose like mine, the last thing you want is someone looking up at it. That upwards view is about the least flattering thing you can do. So if you are using your laptop webcam, put your laptop up on a few books for the duration of your talk. If you're looking forward and slightly upward, it's a much more flattering and much more natural pose. You're now having a conversation with the audience as opposed to this kind of thing. If I did this talk looking like this the whole time because I'm looking down at my laptop keyboard, then it's obviously a problem. And that's where the audience is. They're at the end of the camera, not at the end of your screen. So it's so important to be looking straight down the barrel all the time. This is the thing we want to avoid. And it's hard, especially when we're doing demos, because the demo is obviously on your own screen. If you do need to look away from the audience, then you need to do something spectacular in your demo. For example, if I need to look away, then I'll make my demo full screen and I'll try and make it engaging, because I want the audience to keep looking at the content. So if I need to look down, find something else that's going to keep their attention. If I don't have a demo running, then you need to keep yourself the focus of attention. You can do it yourself. The webcam I'm currently talking to, the reason I can look straight down the barrel and pretty much look at the screen is this is exactly how it looks. It's an old coat hanger and I've simply bent it around the base of the webcam. So my webcam literally sits, you can see right there, it is sitting in the middle of my screen. It's blocking a little bit of the slides, but most of the time I can get away with this and maybe just a bit of this, just a little bit of looking away because my slides are literally behind my webcam. A couple of tips for audio. Your laptop doesn't probably suck, it definitely sucks. Laptop microphones are just the worst. And rest assured, you can get away with average video nowadays. You can almost get away with it because we can post-process it, maybe clean it up a little bit. And also we can shrink you and make the demo the focus. If your audio is bad, it just grates on the audience constantly. This is another benefit of having a webcam. Webcam audio isn't great by any stretch of the imagination, but it's generally better than having the laptop microphone. The next level is if you haven't got a webcam, most noise cancelling headphones nowadays will actually do a better job. Noise cancelling headphones nowadays, if you've got them, also have microphones. AirPods have microphones nowadays for taking calls. They'll do a better voice job than, for example, your webcam or your laptop. Your phone can be used as a microphone. Even the sound quality on your phone is generally better. If you're just doing a recording as opposed to a Zoom session, use your phone to record the audio. Or you can step up to the next level. And it's not expensive. Like this one here, this is my Audio Technica. That cost me about $100. That's Australian, so that's about $6 US. This is a good little microphone. These kind of microphones generally pick up directions from sound from all directions. So I'll use this one if I'm doing, for example, podcast style Q&A kind of thing. If in the days where I used to have people face to face and we're both talking in the room, I'd use this one for interviews. Or this is the one we're currently using. You can actually hear right now that we're talking. This is a Rode Videomic Pro. I use this one because it's much more directional. So it's only going to pick up sounds coming from me. Because we're doing this from home, this is useful because Sometimes I'm giving talks and I've got the children watching TV just behind me on the other side of the room, etc. So a directional mic is useful. Also, this is a mobile mic. It sits on top of my camera. So if I'm doing walk and talk, I can use it as well. They're relatively cost effective. You can look at the kind of microphones you need to get. Cardioid ones generally pick up things from a single direction. You need omnidirectional if you're doing talks like interviews and style. Shotgun if you want to narrow the direction of the sound. And your usage. Do you need the microphone to be mobile? Can it be plugged into USB? You can have lav mics, the little microphones you pin on here that work wirelessly. They're also very good for things like noise reduction.